Awami League minister, the former minister, who was found to have 360 houses in the UK. Those properties are now being frozen. That's not bogus.
What do I have to do with him?
He was
I don't know.
He was a minister in your mother's cabinet.
I can't be responsible for, my family can't be responsible for everyone. Now,
But was your mother aware, was your government aware that you had a minister? Because this is the wider allegation, that it was not just the family, it was everyone. Were they aware that this gentleman was acquiring 360 houses in the UK? Bangladesh is a poor country.
Well, from what I understand, though, that gentleman, his family is wealthy for generations. They have properties in the US, properties in the UK that they've been investing for years. That's what I know.
So you're saying that all of these 360 houses were bought from his personal wealth because the UK authorities don't think so. They froze them.
Well, that I don't know. That's between, I can't keep track of him. This is all I know is that his family, they've been business people for decades.
Did your mother take any action against him?
We didn't know of these allegations until now.
The allegations actually surfaced when you were in office, when your government was in office. The first reporting on it came out before the July uprising. It came out towards the end of 2023 and early 2024.
Unfortunately, I don't know anything about that, so I can't really answer on that.
But doesn't that concern you, though, that when you look at this sort of evidence, it does suggest that there was arguably very high-level corruption within your mother's government?
Again, were there corrupt people there? Probably. But in any country, corruption 100% is impossible to control. We did try. We brought many people to justice. But again, my mother was focused on development.
Okay, let me ask you about something else, Mr. Wadat, which is another big emerging story, which is to do with the worsening tensions between India and Bangladesh, two otherwise friendly countries. And the main trigger is your mother's presence in India, where she's now been for 1.5 years. Bangladesh wants India to extradite her because of the charges she faces. India has so far said no. Surely this is an untenable position. Is there a plan B?
Plan B to what?
To the fact that your mother is in India, how long that's going to be possible for her to stay there? Because I'm assuming that wasn't the first option, that she was going to end up staying there the whole time.
No.
India was meant to be a transit point, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's a misconception. No, India is actually the safest country in the world for her.
So the idea from the beginning was for her to just remain in India throughout?
Look, this was not a planned situation anyway. This happened on the spur of the moment.
Okay.
India was the best safe haven for her. My mother wants to go back home. She wants to retire. She doesn't want to live abroad.
But I'm saying that's not an option, obviously, at the moment.
No, not at the moment. It will be at some point.
But I'm saying that the time when you actually came, or when she came to India, the reporting was that she was looking for a safe haven in a country that would be less geopolitically sensitive than India, because her presence in India obviously escalates frictions with Bangladesh. And was the reason why she ended up staying there because no other country wanted her because of all these accusations, because of all the charges?
No. My mother has not made. We have not made any attempt for my mother to move anywhere else. That's not an issue at all. India is the safest country in the world for her, but the tension isn't because my mother is there. The tension is because the rise of terrorism. The Yunus regime has released all convicted terrorists from jail, and India is concerned about terrorism on its eastern border. Pakistan has been given a free hand inside India.
Actually, Mr. Wasit, the tensions are because Bangladesh is accusing your mother of making incendiary statements while on Indian soil. So that's a huge point of friction between both countries.
So you're saying,
as just one reason. The number two reason is the fact that India is refusing to extradite her.
Right.
So I'm saying
well,
those are major triggers.
I know. So you're saying basically the Yunus regime is complaining that my mother is using her freedom of speech. They're so worried about my mother making statements. They're so afraid of them. Huh?
I'm talking about the diplomatic friction between both countries.
Right.
And the reason I ask you this is because at the end of the day, this is realpolitik. And do you think it's tenable for India to withhold the extradition request indefinitely? Because ultimately governments change. The Indian government is already doing outreach with potential new rulers in Bangladesh. So there may come a time when they say, listen, we're not able to sustain this anymore.
An extradition request involves a judicial process. In order for that to happen, the conviction has to be proven the evidence has to be provided in Indian court. And the regime in Bangladesh does not have any evidence against my mother. The conviction was a sham. It was rushed through.
You're now talking about the conviction of your mother. She's been sentenced to death by
Right.
a judicial proceeding in Bangladesh.
Right, which was a sham proceeding. My mother was not even allowed to appoint her own lawyers. And the laws were changed, which this regime, in order to enable that trial,
Sure.
which
So
without parliament you cannot change laws. No, on the extradition process,
Yeah.
the underlying judicial process has to follow due process. Without that, there can be no extradition.
But ultimately, as you know, Mr. Wazir, these are also political calls because when she came to India and she ended up saying that it was a political decision of
Right.
the government to allow her to do that. And I'm saying that politics is a fluid beast.
Well, that
the
you
reality
have-
can change.
that-
And I'm simply asking you that is there a plan B?
Actually, no, we are that confident in India. India has due process. India is not a kangaroo republic, a banana republic like Bangladesh is right now, and they will not extradite my mother.
Are you saying you've been given an assurance by India?
No, I'm not saying I've been given an assurance, but I know the judicial process. I spent 13 years of my life in India.
Okay.
India is a country of laws.
Okay, let me end by asking you, is there